This is Odyssey. The captain of deep-sea exploration, this ship travels the globe unearthing shipwrecks from centuries past, sometimes returning with sunken treasure worth millions. We're about to investigate the process behind these deep-sea expeditions at Discovery Times Square and see exactly what kind of treasure they're talking about. Ellen, tell me about Odyssey.
Well, Odyssey is a pioneer in deep ocean shipwreck exploration and recovery.
So, what is this exactly?
This is called a side-scan sonar towfish. You can't just find shipwrecks and basically delve into the ocean. You have to have a method and a process. So the side-scan sonar towfish is trailed behind the research vessel, and it basically is searching for shipwrecks. It sends out a sound and receives an echo, and the echo creates a picture. And if we're fortunate, the echo, or the sound that we receive, is the shipwreck that we're looking for.
So after this contraption finds a shipwreck, then what's the next step?
Well, the next step is actually to investigate the site. We want to make sure this is the site we're really looking for. Is this the shipwreck that we've been searching for and researching for, months, perhaps even years? So we move on to our remotely operated vehicle called the Zeus.
That thing?
Yes, the 8-ton ROV, remotely operated vehicle. And Zeus is really the hands and eyes of the archaeologist.
This stuff is so cool.
Yeah, I think Zeus is probably one of the most amazing devices, tools used for shipwreck exploration. We have his manipulator arms and the limpet device. This is the device that actually can pick up delicate artifacts as small as buttons or perhaps silver and gold coins. It will very delicately actually blow away seabed sediment, and then it will suck up the object. Zeus has still cameras and video cameras, so the people aboard the ship can actually watch what's going on the wreck site.
So there's no one actually in this thing?
No one. No, this is remotely operated, so it's not a submersible. We have ROV technicians on our research vessel, and these guys are actually the ones that are manipulating the manipulator arms and are maneuvering Zeus very, very carefully and gracefully over the wreck site. Shipwrecks are time capsules. So these artifacts and treasure that have been on the ocean floor for in many cases hundreds of years have not been seen or touched by humans, and they basically are a window on what life was like during that period of time when that ship sank. So this is a room filled with artifacts recovered from the SS Republic, which sank in 1865. It sank 1,700 feet deep. This was actually the first robotic archaeological excavation ever conducted at such depths. But Odyssey now has shipwrecks as deep as 15,000 feet. You can see what happens on the ocean floor. You have these silver coins that have concreted with seabed sediments and with some of the wood that these coins were actually shipped in.
Are most shipwrecks that you find 18th century, 19th century?
We find shipwrecks spanning all centuries. The exhibit actually presents shipwrecks dating to the 1600s. Some really cool diversity of artifacts. I mean, we recovered just bundles of ink bottles and hair tonics and food products, all sorts of goods that were essential to 19th century America.
So when you bring this material up, how do you actually preserve it?
Typically, we place them back into a fluid solution. They've been in water for hundreds of years, and they've been in salt water for hundreds of years, and salt is a really harsh element. Our objective is to leach out the salts, because if the salts remain in the artifact and they're removed into a dry environment, the artifacts will actually break. They'll become very brittle, they'll crack, and they'll break. So there's all sorts of different solutions, from water to a chemical called sodium sesquicarbonate, to deionized water, all depending on the time frame needed to conserve the artifact.
I've never seen science and history mesh so much into one project, because not only do you need scientists to go down there and pick it up, but then you need historians to kind of explain what you're finding, right?
Correct.
Maybe the best gifts to the people going down there is yes, the artifacts, but then it's also the treasure.
The treasure is exciting. This is the exhibit's treasure room. And Raj, I think you're going to be really excited about this particular display because it has treasure, gold and silver from 1622. That's over 350 years ago. It really was the time of the discovery of the New World. And of course, Spain and other European powers were vying with each other in order to basically own these New World countries. It really stimulates our imagination, as you said, about how they were actually conducting trade, because this was used to actually purchase items. And what's really cool about the exhibit is that we have treasure from 1622, but also silver ingots, silver gold bars from 1941. These are gold bars that were on a ship that was torpedoed by a German U-boat. We recovered 48 tons of silver, the equivalent of $41 million from this wreck site. Each gold bar weighs 80 pounds. I can't even pick up one of these bars. So we take these older silver bars, which are about 0.917% silver. They've got some gold in them too. And then we refine them to meet today's standards, which is 0.999% silver.
So you're talking centuries of shipwrecks, of world history, of gold and silver, and I mean, this is...
Each with their own story. The exhibit covers so many different shipwrecks, so many different time periods, and so much history that most of us aren't always aware of.
Helen, this is beyond cool. Is there a website or something that you can go to?
Yes, actually Odyssey's website is www.shipwreck.net. And of course, if you're in the New York area, you've got to come to Discovery Times Square to see the exhibit.
This is so cool. Ellen, I'm going to be checking out a little bit more of the gold. So
Okay, just don't take off with it.
no promises.